For today's video, I'm going to show you how to activate the engine data, the power and torque gauges to display, and how to make it functional. So what you'll need is an OBD11 device along with a rainbow box or rainbow control module, which you can get off of Alibaba. Okay, so this is going to be the most important part of the installation, or the hardest part. So the rainbow control module, it has two connectors that come out of it. So here's the OEM wires that came off of the stock CANBUS connector. You're going to want to put the connectors into the sleeve, or into the holes of the rainbow box connector. But in order to do so, you're going to have to take it apart, because if you try to stick it in as it is right now, it's not going to be able to fit in there. The wire's too big to do so. I learned that the hard way, doing that with this one. So I was planning on just cutting the wires and wiring up in a butt connector instead of using the connector that came with a rainbow box. But when I tried to stick in the wires without opening this apart, so I stuck both of them in there, and when I went to test out the virtual cockpit, or start the car wouldn't start. So I'll show you which fuse to check if your car doesn't start. That means that you shorted a wire somewhere. So learn from my mistake and take this apart. I'll show you how to take it apart too. Take it apart before sticking the OEM wires into the connector. So to take apart the connector from the rainbow box, you're going to want to stick a screwdriver, a small screwdriver, into this tab right here. You're going to want to push down. It should be able to release part of the connector for you. And there's another part that you're going to have to open up too. I'll show you how to do that before sticking the OEM wires through there. So to take this apart, there's going to be two tabs on each side. So you're going to want to lift up on this tab right here, along with the other side right there, to lift it out. So I got the tab lifted off and the top part removed. So now you can stick the wires in those holes, and then when you stick the wires in, you'll be able to see the metal pins in each of the windows. So it's going to be in the outermost windows when you stick the pins in. So to know which wire goes where, you basically follow the colors. So for example, in this wire, the purple wire is going to insert on the top end of that hole, and then the orange and brown wire is going to insert on the bottom end. So here's my purple wire, and here's the orange and brown wire right here. So the way you know which direction to insert the pins in, each pin is going to have an arrow. So here's the arrows. So you're going to insert it so that way the arrow shows up into the window of the connector. So here I'm inserting the purple connector. So you know it's in there all the way through when you see the little arrow on the pin through the window. That's when you know it's inserted perfectly. Now that both arrows are in that window, then you can close up the connector and put everything back together. So you'll know when you short the wire, if you go to start your car and the virtual cockpit doesn't turn on and the engine doesn't start, so don't freak out. Go to your fuse box, which is underneath the dead pedal. So to remove the dead pedal, it's just a T30 Torex screw. So you remove that and the fuse you're gonna check for is gonna be 7 fuses down from the red section. So it's gonna be a 10 amp fuse. So you just count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's gonna be a 10 amp fuse. So don't make my mistake and make sure to connect the wires properly. So here's my fuse that I blew right there. Got everything plugged back in and zip tied down. Just need to start it. Connected the heated seats on as well before I restarted it, just to make sure I don't get any errors. So now that the rainbow module is installed, I'm going to use an OBD11 device to turn on the power and torque display. So grab the OBD11, plug it into the OBD port. With the OBD11 device plugged in, you're going to want your car in the on position, so put it in the on position. And open up the OBD11 app on your Android device, or if you have a iOS device, turn on your OBD11 app. And once it's connected, you're going to click on this blue box right here. And then scroll to where it says dashboard, click on dashboard. And in dashboard, you're going to click on long coding. And in long coding, you're going to scroll to where it says acceleration display. So I already had mine turned on, so you click on that, and then yours should say no, but you click on yes and hit the check mark button to turn it on, then it'll say yes on acceleration display. You're also going to want to scroll down to where it says engine data display, and you're going to mark that to yes as well and click the check mark button. Mine is already turned on because I turned it on earlier, so yours will say yes after you turn it on, and you should be all set to go. And once you do that with the OBD11 device, to turn it on or to make it show up in your virtual cockpit, you're going to want to push on this button right here. Go down to Sport Displays, hit OK. And there's your engine data that should turn on. So when you turn on the car with the rainbow box, that'll be on, as well as you have access to a G meter. G meter is not going to work because we don't have a sensor for it on the non-RS type cars. But the engine data, where it says the power and torque, should work with the rainbow box installed. With that rainbow box, you can also set it to have an RS type of display where when you rev it, it'll have a shift light that turns yellow and red eventually when the needle goes up to red line. I'm not going to do that because I have an S5 and I don't want the RS display. I just want the engine data.